We now return to Monkey Island. Alright, are you ready?
Huh? What? I was just deep and now.
La. Okay.
Glad you found.
What?
It's closing.
What do you...
No, I don't. Take my key. I'm not lying.
Alright.
Guybrush, are you ready to go?
La. Okay. Let's go run through this real quick. Grab the key.
That was disappointingly easy. I wonder what's going on. Interesting.
Got the secret. Okay. I guess we gotta turn off all the lights. Well, do we have to turn off all the lights? But you might tell me if we have to turn off all the lights first. Let me see real quick if she does say that. I guess we can go. Okay.
I'm gonna look around some more.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see.
I'm ready to go.
Don't forget to shut off all the lights.
That's what I thought. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is save once again, but this time I'm going to save to a completely different slot. So I don't have to go through all this again.
I'm ready to go.
Good. Me too.
Dad, that was a silly ending, and it didn't even make any sense. You're terrible at endings.
I thought you liked silly endings. You and Chucky play the ending of Monkey Island 2 really silly.
That's different. We're kids, and we're just goofing around. You're the one who said you can't just change things. You said that's not how storytelling works.
I did?
I want to know the secret. You have to tell me what you really found in the chest.
The chest was filled with gems, rubies, and gold. A prize fit for a king. Or a mighty pirate. I buried it on a small island and made a really cool-looking map to where it is.
I knew it! We're rich! Rich, rich, rich!
Are you filling our son's head with your outlandish stories again?
I was telling him the one about how we found the secret of Monkey Island.
Oh, that one. Every time you tell that story, the ending gets stranger and stranger. Let's go down to the docks and watch the galleon head out.
Yay!
I found the lost map to the treasure of Maya Island. It's going to be a fun adventure.
I'll meet you down there.
I may have to see if I can skip through some of that dialogue, but each of those has a different ending post-credits. And the one that we did before was that there isn't any one answer to what the secret is, and gave me the Inception-like ending, which itself, you know, Inception being dream in dreams, makes me wonder if, in fact, this is just the curse and the dream. Anyway, I'll be back when we get to the ending. Okay. That's the gems and rubies and gold ending.
I'm ready to go.
Good.
Let's go. Now my key presses are making tick-tick noises. That's fun.
Dad,
I thought you liked you and Chuck.
that's different. We're kids, and we're just... You're the one who said you can't just change... You said that's not...
I did?
I want to know... You have to...
The secret was really the friends we made along the way. Stories are mainly the middle part, after all. And that's where most of the good stuff is.
That sounds like one of those stupid grown-up answers. Mom, Dad won't tell me what the secret...
Are you fit?
Right.
I was telling...
Let's go down to the...
Yay!
I found the... It's going to...
I'll meet you down there.
Okay. We'll be back at the end of the credits again. Well, it's a good thing the music is good. Gonna have to sit through this like 8 more times.
Your mom was right. It's better not to know. Once you have an answer to a question like that, you lose the most important part of it. Imagining the possibilities and talking about them with other people is way better.
Mom! Dad won't tell me what the secret is!
Are you filling our son's head with your outlandish stories again?
I was telling him the one...
All right.
Let's go down to the...
See, and
I found it's going to be...
nonsense
down there.
stuff like that is a good part of why the original ending is so... Well, I couldn't say original. My original feelings on the ending were so disappointing, because it's just like, well, you know, I don't understand this idea that there ever was more to the secret of Monkey Island after having played the first game. I always thought the secret was that there was a portal to hell underneath the Monkey Island, the Monkey Skull. But anyway, here we go again. Just buried the secret. All right.
Whoa, I wasn't making anything up. That was what really happened.
Mom! Dad won't tell me what the secret is!
Are you filling our son's head with your outlandish stories again?
I was telling him the one about...
Every time you tell that... Let's go down to...
Yay!
I found it's going to be...
I'll meet you down there.
All right, we'll just skip ahead. Three tickets to the park. All right. Let's head back to this one.
Huh? What? I was... And now...
Glad you finally made it, kid.
What, Stan?
It's closing time and everyone wants to go home.
What do you...
No, I don't have time. Take my key. I'm not lying.
Guybrush.
Okay. So those are all the endings if we take the secret.
That was disappointingly easy. I wonder what's going on.
This is if we just ignore the secret.
I'm ready to go.
Good. Me too.
Dad, that was a silly ending, and it didn't even make any sense. You're terrible at endings.
I thought you liked silly endings. You and Chucky play the ending of Monkey Island 2 really silly.
That's different. We're kids, and we're just goofing around. You're the one who said you can't just change things. You said that's not how storytelling works.
I did?
I want to know the secret. You have to tell me what it was.
Interesting. I didn't think we would get this.
Your mom was right. What was all that would
So
end?
we didn't get the secret.
Are you filling...
I was telling...
Let's go down to...
Yay!
I found the lost map to the treasure. It's going to be a fun adventure.
I'll meet you down there.
Okay, well, we'll see if this changes it. Oh shoot, he just pulled it out of his pocket. Okay. Cast the key into the fire. Alright, here we go. Try it again.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Glad you finally.
What?
It's closed.
What do you...
No, I don't have. Take my keys and shut off all. I'm not liable for anything that happens.
Okay.
Guybrush, are you ready to go?
I'm pretty sure that ticking is because sticky keys got put on. Even though sticky keys is not engaged, and I don't know how to turn that off right now. Oh my god, come on. Alright. No key. No treasure.
I'm ready to go.
Good. Me too.
Dad,
I thought you liked you and Chucky play.
that's different. You're the one who said you said that.
I did?
You have to.
The secret stories are made.
That sounds like. Mom!
Are you feeling...
I was telling him.
Let's go down to...
Yay!
I found it's going to be...
I'll meet you down there.
Alright, let's see what he does this time. Probably just sits on the bench again. Yep, okay. Oh man, these are long for just a couple seconds of extra story. Alright. Go to this one. So, here's where we have the key and the treasure.
I found the secret of Monkey Island and...
Yeah, okay. Did we tell her? I don't know if we told her.
I got the secret.
You finally did it. I hope it was worth it.
I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look around some more.
So instead of leaving...
It's too dark to go back there.
Oh, come on. Instead of leaving with Elaine.
Score! Free popcorn.
We can return. Which makes you wonder, is it really just a dream? Is this real? Okay.
This is the last time I take a long lunch.
Two more. Two more to go.
Huh? What? And now I'm...
Glad you finally.
Okay.
It's closing time and everyone wants to go.
What do you mean?
No, I don't. Take my keys and shut off all. I'm not liable.
Guybrush,
Alright.
That was disappointingly easy. I wonder what's going on.
Let's try this again. See you in another million years. Okay. Here we go.
Huh? What? I was just... Now...
Glad you found.
What?
It's closing time.
What do you mean it's cold?
No, I don't have. Take my keys. I'm not lying.
All right.
Guybrush.
Once we leave the lock and key again, leave the secret behind. And here we go. So the other ending is the one we already did, where he dies. It's like the dark ending. So this is the final one. A never-ending ending, where you just ignore that the secret exists at all and you go back to sailing around with Elaine. Okay. Look at the scrapbook.
Hey, want to see my Mighty Pirate scrapbook? It's filled with my adventures. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a mighty pirate. That's me, Guybrush Threepwood. That's me.
I think that's all, yeah.
In the old days, you became a pirate by completing 3 trials to prove your worth. The pirate leaders were in charge of the 3 trials, acting as judge, jury, executioner, and devoted grog tasters. Treasure hunting is important for any pirate. Mastering sword fighting was more a matter of wits than agility. The test of thievery involved breaking into the governor's mansion. The security was heavy. This is when I met Elaine, the love of my life. She was governor at the time. Things took an unexpected turn while I was working on the 3 trials. Elaine was kidnapped and taken to Monkey Island by the nefarious ghost pirate LeChuck. LeChuck thought he was in love with Elaine. I scraped together a crew. Carla, Otis, and Meathook joined me on my voyage to Monkey Island to save Elaine. My first ship was the Sea Monkey. I bought it at Stan's used ships with a letter of credit that I, sort of falsified. My first ship, Monkey Island, was a steaming volcanic mystery, covered with jungle and not found on any map. On the island was a gigantic monkey head statue with hidden catacombs underneath. You had to brew a special potion just to find Monkey Island. I made some substitutions, but it got us there just the same. You had to brew the monkey head opened with a special key that you stuck in its ear. There were some people living there who claimed to be cannibals, but I think it was just a show for the tourists. I met an old castaway there, Herman Toothrot. He and the locals wrote a lot of indignant letters to each other. LeChuck's ghostly ship was anchored in a lake of lava hidden beneath the island's surface. We wound up back on Melee Island for the stunning conclusion to my first big adventure. I made it to the church just in time to stop the wedding. Or so I thought. It turned out Elaine already had everything under control. How does she do that? By then, I had learned that ghosts like LeChuck are vulnerable to root beer. Just trust me, it works, okay? It was the beginning of something magical. These are from the time I went to find the treasure of Big Whoop. The map to the treasure had been torn into 4 pieces, which, let's face it, is about as piratey as it gets. I met my good friend Wally, who makes maps, and I stole his monocle. Good times. The mysterious voodoo lady at the International House of Mojo taught me to make a voodoo doll, which came in handy more than once. Elaine always seems to know when I need her. Again, it came down to just me and LeChuck at the end. He was using magic, but then, so was I. One time, Elaine got turned into a statue. Well, LeChuck was behind it, of course. That guy never gives up.
It fails to talk about his involvement in giving her the cursed ring in the first place.
The fact that he turned her into a statue tells me LeChuck doesn't really love Elaine. He thinks of her as furniture.
Yeah, it was Guybrush who did it. Guybrush stole the ring that did it. Granted, maybe the ring was ultimately intended for Elaine, but it was Guybrush who did it.
It was around this time that I met Murray, the allegedly all-powerful demonic skull, after a rousing sea battle. I erupted a volcano on purpose. There's not a lot I wouldn't do for Elaine. I got eaten by a snake. I got buried alive. Things backfired on LeChuck because Elaine and I got married when it was all over. Game, set, matchmaker. This was a great day. Though in retrospect, we shouldn't have had the scum bar handle the catering. Elaine and me together forever. The daggers are symbolic of cutting through troubles, I think. This is the daisy we stomped on together. Wedding traditions are weird. It's either Elaine's wedding veil or my handkerchief. We got them to match. I wrote a great haiku for the wedding invitation. I don't know why you have to have candy-coated almonds at a wedding, but apparently you do. Oh man, this was that crazy time LeChuck teamed up with an Australian billionaire and tried to use a mystical talisman to make Elaine his bride. Everything started because they thought Elaine was dead, so they held an election to replace her. The ultimate insult wasn't really ultimate, or even an insult at all. Or was it? LeChuck and I battled it out on a grand scale that time. I made a goofy monster out of prosthetic body parts. It didn't help with anything, but I had fun doing it. Then there was the time I accidentally let loose LeChuck's pox over the entire Caribbean. Or so it seemed. I had to wear a hook for a while. It came in handy. Morgan Le Fay betrayed me, even after we bonded inside a giant manatee. I should have trusted her less. Elaine wasn't fooled by LeChuck's human form any more than I was. I should have trusted her more. The death card doesn't usually represent literal physical death, except when it does. Love did win out in the end. I went on trial for my life on 4 separate charges. I defended myself, of course. Oh, here's that voodoo doll from the end of my Big Whoop adventure. I defeated LeChuck with this. His leg came off as easy as tearing a loaf of bread. These are from the time I found the secret of Monkey Island. I started my voyage at the scum bar, but right away I could tell it wasn't going to be like old times. In some quarters, my reputation was a disadvantage. The new pirate leaders were focused on sacking and pillaging, but plunder stats aren't everything. I learned more than I ever wanted to know about mops. I made the unusual decision to join LeChuck's crew as a way to get to Monkey Island. Serving on LeChuck's ship was an interesting experience. I grew to like the crew. I forgot all about looking like a zombie and starting a mutiny and seizing the ship. My disguise held up great, right up until we were nearing Monkey Island, when there was a failure. Gullet was my supervisor. Not a very pleasant guy. Putre was really happy when I got her promoted to chef. I got thrown off the ship, but that was okay. I'd gotten as far as I needed to. The actual return to Monkey Island was not what I expected. We all thought the secret would be on the island somewhere. Everybody had a map, some more useful than others. Elaine and I rebuilt my old ship, the Sea Monkey, so we could sail back to Melee. I learned some deeply personal things about my nemesis, LeChuck. The temporary pact I made with my enemies turned out to be about 5 minutes more temporary than I had hoped. It was a race to get to the secret first. I hunted down all 5 golden keys. I wonder if I was supposed to keep these. LeChuck teamed up with Madison, but that was never going to last. Madison was scheming to betray LeChuck. Lila was scheming to betray Madison and LeChuck. I'm not sure Trent ever thought very far ahead. Whitey Bones told me all about the golden keys. Elaine had a lot on her plate, but she was with me in the end. Carla handled earthquake relief as best she could under the circumstances. I broke Stan out of prison. Wally was kidnapped. The voodoo lady disappeared. I unseated the reigning queen to become the last queen of Bermuda. I visited Herman Toothrot in his cozy hermit cave. I managed to recover the secret, but then LeChuck stole it and took it back to Monkey Island to open it. We chased LeChuck back to Monkey Island again, and I tracked him down. Elaine held off Flare Gory while I went into the monkey. Someone had devised a series of themed pirate monkey puzzles to keep out the unworthy. I made this mock-up of the final puzzle. I think it's pretty neat. I found Wally! Oh, shoot. I wonder when this fell out.
I wonder if that is actually something.
Wait, what's this?
Apparently this isn't in here until you finish the game. June 18th, 2020. Development won't start for another month or so, but we've been thinking about this for a while. It seems like a good time to jot down a few thoughts and then stash them away as a sort of time capsule message to our future selves about what we're setting out to do with Return to Monkey Island. Who knows, we might learn something. Monkey Island has historically been a reflection of the lives of the people who made the games. The Secret of Monkey Island was about a young person setting out to pursue an exciting new career. As designers in our 20s, that is what we all were. The sequel, LeChuck's Revenge, was in many ways about the difficulties of making a sequel, or at least about what one does immediately after something that felt like a great success, but which went unnoticed by most of the world at large. Many years, 20, later, after Guybrush had gone on a couple of adventures with other teams who had their own hopes and challenges, we set out to make Tales of Monkey Island as a story about trust. And it is, but what jumps out most for us is that it feels like a story about grown-ups. Because that's what we were. Many of us in our 40s by then, with children and lives in a lumpy, encrusted layer of experience. We're well into our 50s now. We've had lengthy careers, we've made a lot of games, but Monkey Island still defines us to a certain degree, or at least in the minds of many, we are those guys who made that game a long time ago. And it feels like there's some unfinished business there. When the opportunity arose to come back to Monkey Island, we were pretty much on the same page as to what we wanted to do. Guybrush, like us, is older now, and he's had a long and reasonably successful career. But he's mostly associated with something that happened a long time ago and that feels unfinished to him. The game is a goofy pirate adventure, the same as always, but also it's a story about trying to recapture the past with all its alleged youthful strength and glory. Guybrush will both succeed and fail at this. He will sort of get what he wants, but it won't be what he expected. I predict the same for us. That's it. Note to self, get more paper for the rest of my adventures. Yeah, so that, that note right there, before they started the project, and looking at that now in retrospect, it definitely sort of set a tone that really, like I said, it sort of fed into my disappointment early on with the ending until I started thinking about it and thinking about the openings that they still left in it. They clearly wanted to end the series better than Tales of Monkey Island did. But at the same time, I don't think they're ready to let the game or the franchise go. The fact that it's still questionable, which is the true ending, and just how much more of the story could they potentially tell? I think that leaves it open, and there's, like I said, the money angle always wins out in the end. Somebody will want to make another game if this one is successful, if the franchise still has fans. Anyway. The game is actually much longer than I expected, much longer than some of the other games, in fact. I enjoyed it. It definitely still feels like a Monkey Island game, far more than Escape from Monkey Island, that poor game. The art style, I think it is an acquired taste. I definitely think that the style established in Curse of Monkey Island sort of became the definitive style. They very much tried to incorporate that into the fourth game and the Tales games, even a little bit into the remakes of the first two games. So this is definitely a departure from it. But at the same time, I don't think that it necessarily detracts to the point that it's unplayable. I know a lot of purists looked at this when it came out, and the screenshots came out in the trailer and said, what the hell is this? But, I don't think it's a deterrent. Obviously the music is great, as always, has the same people. The story, aside from the questionable endings, it fits right in with the franchise, so I enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. So I'll end this one here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next Let's Play.